All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim and to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing the truth and faith and sincerity. I'm the brother Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. In this lesson, I'm going to be going into Ephesians, the 6th chapter. All right, starting around about the 10th verse. Going into putting on that spiritual armor, right, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, all right, in the times, right, of, this spiritual war, all right, that, we are in, all right, because, all things, all right, are spiritual, okay, and you have to be, prepared. All right, guarded, right? In these evil times, that we are in. Okay, you got to be rooted, grounded, and rooted, right, in Yahweh Shai, all right, to be able to withstand, all the, demonic, energy, and entities, right, that are around us. This is not something that can be fought, right, with physical strength. Okay, but only spiritual, right, through Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, right, and the belief in them, the belief, and the faith in them, okay, and, having those names, to call upon, all right, but this is Ephesians 6 and 10, it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So it says, be strong in the Lord. All right. We're not going to be strong, in ourselves. All right. Because, we ourselves, right, can do nothing, right, against the evil, all right, spiritual forces that come up against us. Right. Day in and day out in this world. Okay. It's all going to be through the Lord. You can do nothing through your own strength. All right. Or else you will fail. But it says in the power of his might. So not our might, his might. All right. With the spiritual, tools and weapons, that he has granted us, which is going to go into, later on down the line. All right, it says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So it says, put on the whole armor of the Most High. All right, you can't put on, certain pieces and leave the other ones out and then try to go on the battlefield. All right, you're going to get obliterated. All right, you're going to get dealt with. And it's not wise. It wouldn't be a wise decision to do that. All right, you want to be fully prepared on this spiritual battlefield, all right, that we're on, battling against evil and against evil forces. The Lord has his own dedicated armor for us to put on. All right, it's not talking about any old armor, his armor, through the Spirit. Okay, because you can arm yourself with nothing else in this world. Right, against the things that we're up against. All right? Nothing physical. Nothing physical can get the job done. Nothing carnal can get the job done. It has to be through the Most High's way. All right? And it says that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right? The trickery, the deceit. That's what wiles go into. Because we are up against a lot with these demons, right? Esau, Edom, right? Because Satan worked through him, all right? And then in our everyday life, demons hop on people around us. Demons be trying us, and if you ain't in the spirit, if you ain't armored up, you can get conquered out here. You can get overcome. All right, demons can be setting a lot of traps for you to fall. And if you ain't Like I said, you ain't got that armor on. You ain't got the spirit to discern, what's going on at a particular time. That, there's a trap or a demon trying to get me caught up, that you'll fall into something, man, and it wouldn't be good. All right? Through this truth, we have, the light to see through all of the darkness and to see through all of the BS. But without this truth, you're blinded. If you ain't got that armor, you're blinded. So you can't see and understand what's going on around you. But it said, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So all of this is spiritual. This is a spiritual fight. This is not flesh and blood. Okay, so it doesn't matter about, if you can fight or not. All right, it doesn't matter about if you know jujitsu and this and that. Even though those things are good, right? And I recommend you learn that if you got time. All right, because every man, it's good to know how to defend yourself. All right, it gives you a different level of, confidence. All right, but just understanding that none of that will save you, or or aid you, right, in this battle. All right, because we doing that spiritual exercise over here, right, in these scriptures. Okay, in spiritual jujitsu. All right, but this is not a flesh and blood battle. All right, because you ain't gonna be able to put a demon in the chokehold, or a guillotine choke or a rear naked choke. All right, it's just nothing. It's not gonna happen. All right. But since this is spiritual, all right, and we go into the principalities, it goes into the chief demons. All right, because now when we come into this truth, the demons that was upon us leave, and now it takes stronger demons to come up against us, and more as we level up. All right, and they constantly, fuck with us. All right, that's why I said Satan, as a goes about as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Okay, it ain't like he just going for anybody. He know who he going for. What did Yahweh Shai tell Peter? Hey, Satan have desire to sift you as wheat. So no, he going around with specific people on his mind. So just know you are on these demons' mind to get you up out of here. So be strong in the Lord, because we got spiritual enemies that we cannot even see. All right, we can't see the demons. All right, we can recognize the spirit when it's demons around. All right, when certain things are going on, but you can't even see it. All right, you don't know what angle they coming from or what's going to happen or this and that. You just gotta have faith and rely on the Lord. All right, and be in the spirit and have that armor on and just be ready for when the situation happens. All right, you don't want to get caught off guard, or how Jake said, get caught lacking. All right, it's Jake. They said he get caught lacking. When he ain't got his the weapon on him. All right, the Glock. All right, he left the Glock at home, or he with his family or whatever. He ain't got his Glock. All right, he say, oh, he was lacking. Hey, but with the Lord, man, you in the spirit, you can never be lacking, because the spirit is with you everywhere. All right, this faith is with you everywhere. All right, if you are in the right spirit and you stay in the spirit, all right, hey, you always have that armor. You always have, these spiritual weapons. All right, to battle, against any evil situation. All right, but it said, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Right, so take unto you the whole armor, all right, that you can withstand in the evil day when things go down. All right, especially during the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, you want to be prepared fully in the spirit. Okay, you want to be equipped, right, with all of the spiritual tools from the Lord, right, to fight against all of the tribulations and the things that we are going to have to go through. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. All right, now when you have something called a girdle, right, which is like a belt, right? And what a girdle is, it's something that will basically tie up your loose clothing. Like if you had a garment, right, you put a girdle on, and and it basically, you can tie up your garment, to get ready for war, right? To get ready to get active, right, if need be. And then your garment won't be all in the way, flying in the wind, and all this particular shit, right? Then it says, put on the breastplate of righteousness. Now, breastplate is something for war as well. All right, it protects, that midsection or whatever. All right, it's a lot that goes into the the army equipment. That's why Paul is quoting these things, but it's in a spiritual sense. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. All right, and everything is is dealing with this truth. All right, this is our armor. This is our strength, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right, is our strong tower. It says, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, right? The shield of faith to block all of that bullshit that come our way. All right? Because if we are shielded and protected by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, nobody can do anything against it. All right? And this is a high quality shield. All right? If you ever watched Game of Thrones, I believe the best material was called Valyrian steel. It's like some high quality top shit. All right, but through the spirit, this is better than that. All right, but that particular material, I believe, costed a lot. On the show, of course. It was only for royalty, I believe. Okay. And what was it? I believe Peter, right? Your royal, priesthood. Okay, so we have been gifted and blessed, right, with with royal armor, right, through the Spirit, right, that is only given to the sons of God, right, only given to His children, His believers, right. Everybody ain't walking around with this armor, bro. All right, we got some high quality stuff. All right, to help us, defend ourselves in this world, man. All right, from all of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, the sword of spirit, which is the word of the Most High. So, the sword is these scriptures. This is what we fight, all right, against everything with. The scriptures help us keep us on track. Whenever there's a situation, we think about the scriptures on how to handle this, right? And how to walk and how to be. We're going through things and we need comfort. Go to the scriptures to fight it. When we're out on the block teaching, we're using that sword, cutting through whoever may be listening, whoever may be mocking and scoffing, whoever has an evil heart, cutting them. Esau, Edom, the elites, all of these people watching us, cutting them when they come out in person, cutting them, destroying them, cutting off limbs through the Spirit. All right, this is what we are doing. But it says, praying always with all prayer and supplication in spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. Right, so praying always. So praying is a key thing as well. All right. Just praying, that's how we make known our requests unto the Heavenly Father, right? Also give gratitude and, thanks, right? All these particular things, right? Go to Him when we need, when we're in trouble, right? So this is part of all of the armor. These are the tools that we have been given, all right? And we got to utilize these things daily, all right? And stay in the Spirit and stay armored up. So I hope this lesson was edified. All right, with that, I'm going to say shalom.